I'm Jody. Welcome to this Beaded Life. Today we are going to play with some beads from Adornable Elements from past boxes that I've had, and we're going to combine a few months, and there's a necklace idea that I have, and we're going to be using some silver silk today too. And I'm thinking we're going to make like a layered shorter necklace with silver silk as well. And I'm not sure how exactly I want to do it, so let's go on the mat and let's play. Okay guys, I have kind of a hot mess down here. So I've been playing with silver silk today. It's my day to play with silver silk. I have, which I don't think you can get right now, I think he's trying to make more, is the capture chain in birch. It's a white beaded metal chain underneath this really beautiful bronze mesh. It's gorgeous. So we have that. I have some para wire from Vintage, and it's a 21 gauge 15-foot twisted wire in antique bronze that we're going to use. From my Adornable Elements boxes, I have some freeform, like chunky barrels that we're going to use of the Prehnite. From the Red Jasper box, I have some beautiful 8mm rounds that we're going to use. From, I believe this one was the Jade Cherry Blossom. I believe we have some fire polish beads, some 4mm, some rondelles, and some 8mm. Okay, so I think these are, I'm sorry, these are 10mm. So what I'm wanting to do, and I tested these little baby ones on the wire, I wanted to make sure. I want to use these to make beaded links, and I want it to be several of the beaded links coming together. Probably, I wanted to do probably like 4 or 5 and have the capture chain behind it, but the toggle on the side, because I really love the toggle on the side. So that's what we're going to do today. So I'm trying to utilize my past months of these beautiful boxes that I get, and we want to use, a lot of people would think maybe some of these don't belong together, but I believe that all these colors belong together. So we are combining them, and I think you'll be surprised when you see the Red Jasper and the matte of the Red Jasper with the shininess of the fire polished with this lovely pale green Prehnite. Look at that. This is going to be beautiful, you guys, and I'm so super excited to see it. I think this is going to be amazing. And even this pale pink. This pale pink is going to look great with all this. So we are going to make a bunch of links with this wire. So this wire you can use just like you do any other wire. You can do a wrap. You can bead right on it. And it's fun to use. The twisted gives it just like a little bit of a another texture to put in your jewelry. Let me bring you guys out just a little bit so I don't make you go blind. We're going to use some antique bronze findings, and I have some jump rings on standby here because we're probably going to need those as well. I am not great at working from the spool, so I cut a good amount off, and then I just kind of work through it, and I try not to waste very much. So we are going to go ahead and cut some of this off so it's easier to work with. And you can just use your regular cutters on it. I will link in the show notes the Adornable Elements boxes that you can get. They have so many different ones that you can get, and I have a promo code that you can use to save 10% off of one or all on your first box. And I will link the Vintage wire that I'm using, and I'll also link the silver silk page where you can find findings and chain. Like I said, this one he doesn't have right now. He does, I think he does have the leather, which I have the leather here too, and I can show you that. So here's the leather one. As you can see, it's over a white leather, and I believe it's a 2mm leather, but it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Something about that deep bronze color over top of the white is just amazing. So we're going to do a bunch of wire wrap loops. So we're going to do some together, and I'll do some off camera so that way you don't have to watch me, because we are doing a bunch of them. And we're not going to do huge wire wrap loops. And what we're going to do is we're going to end up linking them all together. So I'm just going to grab my pliers, and we will just wrap that around. If I can get 2 wraps around, I'll be happy with that. 2 to 3. Okay, and we can trim that little piece off. Oop, those aren't my trimmers. And again, you're going to use this wire the same as you would other wire. Like I said, it just adds a different texture to it, and it just looks really cool because you can see in the loop that the wire is twisted. All right, and so let's start by maybe doing some of our Prehnite. Now, I don't know if I really want to do anything with it. I kind of like the raw look of it. It looks really, really cool. So we're going to do another little wire wrap loop here. And I haven't decided if I want to link them together with jump rings or if I just want to connect them all together. Sometimes I think if you link them together with jump rings, it allows you to, allows them to move a little bit easier. So we might do that, but I'm thinking I probably would rather not. And there we go. Now we got a couple little loops around that one. And we can just straighten that out. And we can cut that off. And let's go ahead and, like, while we're doing this, let's go ahead and link a few things together. So we're going to make our little loop here. Give myself a little more room this time. But we're not going to close it up yet. Like, let's make our loop. And this twisted wire, for being 21 gauge, it feels a lot stronger because it is twisted. So it's not as, to me, it doesn't feel as malleable as like if you were to get the regular wire in 21 gauge. That feels really soft, and this feels like it's got a little more heft to it. So I can really appreciate that, where I can use a smaller gauge wire, but still have it be strong. I know I have not used this wire on a video before. I haven't used it much. And then you kind of forget about it. You know, you forget about things that you have, and you just kind of, you know, gravitate towards the things that you always know that you have. And when I was cleaning out my room the other day, I had found it, or I should say last month, I had found it, and I was like, oh, yay, we need that. You know what? I think we will link them together, because I like the look that gives. So I think we will do that. And I'm just going to try to link together like things that I think would look pretty in the same strand. Mind you, we're going to do several different strands, and these are going to be shorter. I'm thinking probably around 10 inches in length. So we're going to make, like I said, 4 to 5 strands, depending on how much I can get accomplished in one sitting here. And let's just go ahead. We're going to make our one chain together. So here's another little link. And now remind you, I connected that right on to that first one. And we're just going to do another wire wrap loop, but this one we can close all the way. And then we can trim that off. That's what we have so far. Those are 2 links that are connected together. And then let's go ahead and make another. And we're going to do all different size links. They don't have to be the same size. They can be all different sizes. And as a matter of fact, we'll probably lay one out so we can try to make the links for the other parts of our necklace around it. Let's go ahead and fix that. So we close this one end, so now we got to remember to leave the other end open so we can link it onto our little chain here. Just want to make sure I can take care of that little piece that's poking out there. And then let's do one of these pretty pink fire polish. Very pretty. Very, very pretty. Okay, so now we have that link started, that little circle started, and let's just connect it to here. And then we can wrap that around. And we have our next little connector. So as you can see, this is a little time consuming, but I can guarantee you that the look you're going to get is going to be so cool. And you could just string all this on. I just really love the look of a linked chain, and maybe we'll do some linked and some strung. Now that we could do, that would be really cool too. So that might be a really good idea. Let's go ahead and make this link. And then that would also allow us to spend more time together doing this instead of me doing a bunch off camera. Okay, I'm making this link next. I made that one a little small, but that's okay. We don't need it to be big. We're just going to use our pliers to get that closed around there. And then use our pliers to fix it because I bent it out of shape. There we go. It's, you know, it's one of those things, guys. All right, and now let's grab a smaller chunk of this Prehnite. Look at that. Tell me that's not beautiful. That is beautiful. I love that pale green. And if you're wondering why we're ignoring the Red Jasper, we're not. We're just focusing on one strand at a time. And this strand, I want it to be primarily the Prehnite and some fire polish. Okay, and I'm going to hold on to that little loop there. And just bring this around a couple times. This kind of gives it like an old look, you know, when you have this twisted wire. And let's see what we have so far as length for that. This is, oh my goodness, yeah, some craziness going on here. So just to give you an idea, this is 3 inches. So we still have about 7 more inches to go. So let's go ahead and continue on making these links. We're going to cut some more of our wire. Just kind of warm it up in our hands. We can close off the one side. And let's do this little fire polish, our rondelle, and a little 4mm fire polish again. So we're just kind of going along. Must be a little kink right there. There we go. And then we're just going to keep going like this until we make our 10 inches. So I will go ahead and pause this right now, and I'll finish up this chain, and we'll come back and see what we want to do next. Maybe we'll want to string a strand. Hold on one second. Okay guys, so we have our first strand, and it's almost 10 inches, so it's about 9.5. So I think we're going to be good there because we're going to have jump rings on the ends too. So and I think I want to do that. I think I want to do the stringing and everything too. And I thought maybe even, you know, like one strand of this, but I don't know. We'll see. But I really would like to use probably the bone color of the soft flex, because there is some white in here. I thought it would just look really cool to have that. So let's do a couple strands of just stringing, and we're going to want to have it about the same length, but I'm leaving this here as like a guide. And then I'm going to want to do another strand or two of links. It could be, we might do 4 strands, we might do 5. I'd really like to do 5. So let's cut about 14 inches of string off. All right. Then let me get my crimps out real quick. I need my antique bronze crimps here, somewhere in here. I'm just going to grab some out. Whoops, I got a silver one in there. I don't know how'd that happen. Okay, so I'm going to get 4 out because we're probably going to need 4. So we got that. My dog is going crazy. All right, so now the reason why we're leaving this like this is because the way I want to string this, I want to make sure that like my larger beads are like nesting in between here. And I do have more of the Jasper that we can use. I only pulled out like a little bit, but I'm wanting to do like 3 Jaspers like this. And we could probably do like little spacers in between them. Little spacer beads, these little fire polish ones. Just in between like that. And then we could probably do this in the rondelle. And we could even do some chain. So, I mean, that's a possibility too. Like if I run out of things that I want to use as far as beads, we can absolutely do chain with this. And I do have some chain that would match this really, really well. So we can do that too. But this is what I'm looking at here. So this is what I would like to do. And then that will nest in there really nice. So now that we have that, let's go ahead and start. And it looks like our middle is right here. So let's put this little guy on. Followed up with our pale pink fire polish. Like so. And our Jasper 4mm fire polish. Red Jasper fire polish. Red Jasper. Pale pink. And here we go. If we need to add more beads, we absolutely can. So let's see now. I love the Adornable Elements. I get rotated, like they send me different boxes. Like they've been sending me the fire polish and the gemstone and the hot and trendy. And I am using some from each right now. And they're really great. And you can do so much with all these beads. Like there's just so much you can do, and it gives you such a great variety. I highly recommend them as far as like being a great subscription, no matter what you choose to get. They have really beautiful beads. All right, so let's see what we have here. So there's our one strand, and it looks like we can go just a little bit further. And do you see how I mean? Like it just kind of, like I like the way it kind of nestles like in between, and it kind of looks like we can go a little bit further. So let's do just that. Let's maybe do maybe another set of, maybe we can do this. And then do like another set of these fire polish ones together. And I might have to bust open some more goodies from them, which I have plenty. So we definitely can do that. So there's that one. And then it looks like we could probably just, maybe we shouldn't do that many. Maybe we do this. Because I really want these to be all about the same length. Maybe just a hair shorter or longer, but just about the same length. Let's do a couple of these little guys at the end here on each side. Because I really want them to be kind of on top of each other. I really like that look. It just really, it's very bold. And I just like the way it looks, especially when you're mixing up different elements. You know, we have like gemstones and fire polish and two gemstones that people wouldn't think probably would necessarily go together, but they do. And it's going to look really cool. All right, so let's close up our ends, and we're just going to close them off into loops. We're not going to do anything fancy or anything like that. We're just going to make little loops because we're going to end up using jump rings to connect everything together. So that way it just kind of hangs together nicely. And I want the loops to be somewhat small. I don't want them to be obvious. So probably about that size. Very tiny. And then let's go ahead and crimp that crimp tube. There we go. And let's just slide that down. I don't know if I can fit my tail through both. Nope, I can't. So let's cut that tail off. Be really careful to not cut your strand that your beads are on. Let's do the same thing over here. Okay, I'm going to grab my round nose pliers real quick just to kind of hook it in that loop so I don't lose my crimp. And once we get to the size that we want it, we can just go ahead and crimp that. go. It's a bad little crimp. All right. And then we can trim off our tail. There we go. And then there's our first 2 strands. So let's go ahead and do another one. Let me see what else I have down there. I'm gonna grab some stuff here. So it looks like I have some star cut. Those are the star cut. Oh yeah, they are. Some star cut Prehnite. I also have some larger fire polish. You can use those. I also have here some 6mm Jasper. So we might not use that 8mm one. I'm just gonna put him off to the side. So we do have some of that too. So we have plenty of things to work with here. All right, so let's cut another strand and let's do another string. And then we'll probably do 1 to 2 more of the chain, of the links. So we're just gonna cut some more here. There we go. And let's just kind of lay out some stuff and see what we think. Kind of don't want those right next to each other. So let's do something like this. We have 1 nugget left. And then we can just kind of fill it in from there. So maybe we can use these big fire polish beads. Kind of put those in between here and here. And then maybe we can do like a little sprinkle of these. Maybe we should add some Red Jasper. Kind of bring both colors together. We even have some Red Jasper chips and some 4mm that we could use too if we needed to. Whoops. Oh, that one kind of went flying. Maybe put these in between here. We might get away with just doing 1 more little strand after this, doing like, you know, like yeah, just 1 more little strand, like another chain one, and then that should be good. All right, so let's put these on first, because this is going to be our center part here, and then we'll build from there. Okay, that looks pretty. Oh, that looks really pretty together. And then we can probably, I think I might want to work in these on the end. So like do this with this guy. Oh yeah, that looks gorgeous. Maybe do another one. And then just keep on beading. And just bring it all together. So we're gonna end up with probably 2 strands of each. We'll do one more of the chain, the linked chain. Okay, that looks beautiful. Actually, we might get away with just doing 3. I think 3 would look fantastic. I don't know. We'll see. I really would like an opportunity to use some more of that twisted wire. So I think maybe just one more would probably look really good. And maybe we can do like all like little beads or something. Whoops. Oh my goodness, I'm dropping everything today. All right, so we have that, and I think we can probably do, looks like we could do one more, the Prehnite, that last like nugget we have. So that would be good to get rid of that one. This is like a stash buster, you guys. That's what this is. Yep, and then maybe just one little fire polish one at the end here. And we can call that one good. Oh, this is gonna look pretty. I am super excited about this. All right, so let's close off our ends. Making a small loop again, because like I said, we're gonna use some jump rings. So there's my small little loop. There we go. Pretty, 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 pretty. And then I'm just gonna hold up all 3 of these together and see how that looks, because maybe we can get away with just doing 3. That might be good enough. Let's bring that down. Small loop again. There we go. Let's make sure there's some wiggle room there, because we're gonna need that. And there we go. So let's hold all these up together. Oh, this looks really, really pretty. This looks so nice together, you guys. Look at this. Oh, I love that. But I kind of feel like I want to do one more chain. One more linked chain, but I don't think we need to. I think if I do one more, maybe it'll be too heavy. Well, no, it wouldn't be, because it's only, yeah, and it'll give me a reason to use up some of my little onesies here. We're going to go ahead and do one more chain. All right, I'm going to get it started, and then we'll meet back here and we'll finish it up together. Okay, guys, I think we can work on the rest ourselves together. So let's go ahead and keep on making our little links. I'm going to make a couple larger links here. So I have some more of my wire, and we're just going to make our little loop. And this one we're going to close off. And if I haven't said, and you're new, 2 wrapped loops makes yourself a link with beads in the middle. So that's all you need to do are 2 wrap loops, 1 on each end. All right, so let's make a little bit longer of one. So let's do a 4mm fire polish bead. There we go. Let's do one of these rondelles. Let's do a jasper, a rondelle, and a 4mm. So now we have a little bit longer of a link. We have some shorter ones here and a little bit longer one there. And now this one we're going to leave open so we can connect it. Pop that open, connect it to our chain, close it right up, hang on to your loop, and just wrap that around a couple times. And then trim off what you don't need. Maybe to use that for a little baby one maybe. All right, so we're getting there. Let's cut off a little bit more. I usually cut off around like 8 inches. It's just easier for me to work with. You can work from the spool. I know there's several artists who do, and I commend them for it because I just can't. Maybe I can, I just don't try very hard to do it. So this way works out best for me, so this is what I do. All right, so let's do the same link over here. We had our 4mm fire polish, our rondelle, our jasper, our rondelle, and our 4mm fire polish. And then we have that link. And we're going to leave this one open, make our loop, pop it open, attach it to our chain, close our loop up and hang on to it, and just wrap that around. When it's long like this, it's easier for me to do it with my fingers, and then when it's short, it's usually easier for me to do it with my pliers, but sometimes I'll try it with my fingers first. Okay, so let's see where we're at. We're getting there. We only need a little bit left, or a little bit more, not too much more. So let's do another link. My little Lucy is just sleeping over there by the window. Just sleeping the day away. It's so hard to be a cat, you guys. So hard. Freeloading animal. All right, so let's do this light fire polish pink. Let's do a Prehnite and a light fire polish pink and make this one. Right, and we're going to leave this side open so we can connect it. Okay, we need to do another one that size. And then I think we're getting really close here. So I'm just going to cut a little bit more off. Probably about 6 inches here. Got a big old mess to clean up here. A lot of beads to put away. All right, let's see where we're at. Looks like we just need a couple more, maybe smaller links. So let's do a couple of the little fire polished ones on their own, like maybe a couple of these pink ones would be good. I'm going to try to use this little, or maybe we could do even a couple of these little guys too. Yeah, I think we could. So I'm going to attempt to use this little piece here for one of those itty bitty little guys. All right, and I'm going to use my pliers because that is really small. Let's trim that little tiny little burr off there. And just squish that down. There, now we have room for this little guy here. Just have too many little kinks in this one. There we go. Smoothed it out enough to get this on. So now we're just going to make our loop, but we're not going to close it. Ooh, that is tight. Look at that, you guys. Let's just lay that right there. Let's do one of these pink ones. Well, I hope you guys had a good weekend. I know it's coming to a close. It is Sunday. Tomorrow is the presidential inauguration. And I hope everyone has a great Monday. And I hope your week goes really, really well this week. And there we go. You should see the pile of stuff I have off to my left, you guys. It's kind of a hot mess over there. But it's all this stuff. So I said I was going to leave it all out so that way I could put it away properly instead of like just grabbing what I wanted and then letting it sit on my desk for weeks on end. Okay, and then let's hook this little guy on here. We need to use our pliers on this one. When you're doing a style like this where you're just wanting a bunch of texture, it's not super important that all your loops are exactly the same. Like, I'm a firm believer that if you are doing like 2 wraps, you know, and let's say you're wanting to do like 3 wraps and you're wanting it to be a very neat, pristine piece, then yeah, it's definitely going to matter. But if you're doing one that you want just to be like very like texture-y and like, I don't know, messy isn't the word for it. Maybe messy is the word for it. I don't know. Because messy doesn't have to necessarily be a bad word. I like messy. I like like I think I said before, when the messy wraps were like super in, like those big bird nest wraps, I was like, oh, my people. And I am like messy wrap extraordinaire. Like I love a good messy wrap. And I think that there's a time and a place for it, of course. Like not everything needs to be a messy wrap, but the style of jewelry that I really love, you know, tends to be that way. Like I just love very organic looking pieces. Don't get me wrong, I love like streamlined stuff too, and I wear a lot of streamlined things. But my true calling is very like organic looking, very unique. I just make all kinds because I think all jewelry is beautiful. And I know we all have different tastes in jewelry. So I like to make sure that I'm getting something out there that, you know, will be loved by somebody, you know. So no matter what the style is. And I still tend to do my own spin on it. Like I still do the colors I love, and I still do, you know, the gemstones that I love. And, but yeah, I like to try to put my own spin on things. All right, now we just need to do one more for this little guy here. And then we're going to start putting this all together. And this will be kind of the easy part, I'm thinking. Easier than what we've been doing. This is definitely the hardest part here. And I'm glad we went ahead and made a 4th strand. I'm glad we did. I don't think 5 strands, I think 5 strands would be way too much. But I think the 4 is going to be nice. All right. Let me straighten out my wire here a little bit. Just kind of get rid of some of my little kinks, because those little tiny fire polish beads have a hard time getting over some of those little hills. Straighten that out a little bit. There we go. It's all it takes. Straighten out those little hills and valleys. All right, and we're gonna pop that open, put him on the end here. Whoops, and then let's wrap this little guy around. Okay, that one was really messy and very organic. Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow. All right. So here's our strands. Let me clean up the beads and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so like I said before, I wanted to make this like a little bit shorter of a necklace. So I am going to see where I want my silver silk. All right, so these are, it's not gonna be really short, but it's gonna be shorter. So I'm gonna cut right here and then I'll measure this for you. Okay, I cut that to be about 18 inches, which I think I can do even smaller. And I'll save this for like a part of a bracelet. Then I kind of want to, oh, all right. I'm sorry, you guys, we're gonna cut again. We're gonna cut right here. Saving that. Should have cut there to begin with, but that's okay, because I'll make a bracelet out of it. All right, so this is actually 12.5 inches, and then we're gonna get like some more room from our findings. So what we're going to do is we're gonna kind of bunch these guys up, and we don't care if they twist up, we don't care about any of that. As a matter of fact, twisting them up would be even better. And I'm going to grab my antique bronze jump rings here, because we're going to need a couple, probably these like 7mm. These look to be about 7mm. All right, so let's open up this one. And let's just hook these in here. Kind of alternating the strung and the chain. I'm thinking. Sorry, I know it looked like I was frozen for a second. Actually, I want the loop down here. There we go. Whoops. All right, so there's our loop. And let's put our binding on here. And you just, these fit perfectly right inside of these single strand ones. And then you can just take your pliers and just push them down, or if you're worried that you're going to scratch it, you can take your nylon jaw pliers and push it down too. There we go. All right, so then now I want a smaller jump ring to connect these two together. So let me get like a little tiny one, like a 4mm. There we go. Then this will attach to this. Nope, make sure it's closed all the way. Looks a little weird. There we go. This will go right into here, like so. Just like that. And then we can just take all these beautiful little strands. Let's just kind of mess them up a little bit. Let's just kind of get them messy, okay? Just get them messy. And then let's hook on our jump ring. And let's go ahead and just kind of grab these, however. And then close this up. Oh. Put this on first. Then we can put this guy on. And then we can close this up. All right, here is our really fun, bold necklace. Gemstone and fire polish and silver silk. And I think it looks really, really pretty. All right, guys, I'm gonna try it on for you. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, here it is. I think it turned out really, really pretty. I like how nice it looks all laying together. And then we have our silver silk back here, and it's gonna feel good on the back of your neck. All right, guys, I hope you like this one. I love the red and the green together, that Red Jasper and that Prehnite. It's so pretty. All right, you guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I'm taking the rest of the day off, and I'm gonna have some dinner and hang out with my family. Sending you all my love, and I hope you have a wonderful night. Bye, everyone.